this one, no Chemis, no Edelweiss, no Von Trapp family. That was the last one, Austria. So I guess we can begin here. Okay. That's a very Australian tree. That an important thing in GeoGuessr, is to be able to recognize Australia and New Zealand from botany. It's one of the easier, things to do from landscapes. Um, they have what have been referred to. Australia has what I've heard referred to as broccoli trees. These things. Um, Another characteristic one is eucalyptus. Although like those are planted on all over the world, and you want to check the site of the road before deciding on that. I ran into that in San Diego once. I saw eucalyptus, thought it was Australia, forgot that the cars were driving on the right side of the road. Okay. And so, from that, we know that Australia is a left-hand drive country. Okay, there was a phone number on the sign, but there was no area code with it. Australia only has four of those. Um, four telephone area codes. Um, and so they're often not given. Everyone knows the one for their area. Um, let's see. So I would say also from the appearance of the landscape that I think that this is not the East Coast, but you really can't tell much, in particular, like, the area around Melbourne and Adelaide and the area around Perth are very similar looking in terms of the landscape. Um, it's also flat, which, again, is, doesn't tell us much. We have for sale, we have, .au domain, which we knew it was Australia already. Um, so let's see. So, you know, also in Australia, the population is very concentrated in major metropolitan areas. The Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Perth areas contain something like three-quarters of the population of Australia, and so the rest of the country is very unpopulated. Um, Even more populated rural areas like on the East Coast, are stunningly empty often. But let's see. So what we've got here, yeah, I've seen these walls before. I think those are Melbourne area, but um, that sort of thing often looks different in different areas. Different contractors, different supplies of rock. Okay, so it was this town Coes, which is that Melbourne is in this bay, and then it's in this second one over here. Okay. Okay, so Perth is that way, terminals are that way. So that suggests that we're probably actually at the Perth airport, um, which unfortunately, airports can be shockingly hard to find on the map. Um, I've got a viewers already. Um, right. Yeah, okay, so this is definitely the airport. Um, let's see. So I guess you sort of look around the outside of Perth and see if you can find the airport. Yeah, just do a plunk down so that if it times out, there's the Perth airport. Okay. Um, okay, we have long-term parking J. There's H. Long-term parking J is there. Um, let's see. This is a north-south road. Um, uh, this one probably. Wait, it ends, right? So if it's near long-term parking J, um, wait, it could be just there, right? Yeah, that makes, oh, toll intermodal. Yeah, that trucks say toll. So, yep. All right. So that one was easy. Um, yeah, and so I've noticed, Australia, you get a lot of urban areas, that Casuarina All Sports Club. Casuarina is a tree. I know its name is actually related to the bird, the cassowary, which lives in Australia and New Guinea. Flightless bird. We have Arafura medical clinics. The Arafura Sea is also in northern Australia. That's the Gulf of Carpentaria here. What's That's the Arafura Sea. So we're probably in Northern Territory. Essentially, the only towns in the Northern Territory are Darwin, Catherine, and Alice Springs. And from Arafura, I'm thinking that this is Darwin. And there's Casuarina neighborhood right in Darwin. Uh, right. Um, so we have. By the way, there again, I said phone numbers, no area code because you would know in general from where you are what that is. So I think that there is then essentially no content on phone numbers in Australia. Yeah, Australia has these kind of chevrons. That's another characteristic. We have Casuarina All Sports Club. Okay, so there's Casuarina Beach here, and there's Casuarina neighborhood here. So I'm thinking this is, in somewhere around this shopping plaza. Shopping center Casuarina, yes. Um, so this means that we're on this side of it. Yeah, that's the entrance. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I forgot to reset it to the original location. Right, I moved 400 meters approximately. Okay. Here's those familiar things again. If you see palms in Australia, I think those can be in almost any part of the country, but are most common on the east coast, north of Sydney. Um, so this means that we're probably biased maybe toward the Brisbane area, although not strongly. Um, Boronia Heights. I do not know where that is. Um, let's take a quick look at Brisbane and see if there's a Boronia Heights easily visible. Oh, yeah, also the Brisbane area has this outcropping over here called the Gold Coast, um, which extends slightly into New South Wales. It's not entirely in Queensland. Um, okay, let's see. Boronia Heights. It sounds like they should have boron. Oh, there's a sign there. We have Middle Road, Federation Drive, and Coronation Road. No road numbers, which make it much more useful. We have Federation Drive. There's an emblem on the sign that looks like it could be the city. Um, Now, as I remember from the way that administration works for Australian cities, that the large cities are actually divided up heavily. For instance, the city of Sydney is just an area around the central business district. Um, So city names, are really more, in metropolitan areas may just be the neighborhood. Um, we have medical center. No, I don't see anything. It's just Middle Road Village Shopping Center. There's Boronia Heights again. Well, we'll plunk it in the middle of Brisbane, and then, if I got the area completely wrong, then we'll be way off. But yeah, it definitely looks like the suburbs. Let's stick it out there, just in case we can get a fantastic guess. Yep. And okay, so it was the Brisbane area. It was south of the city center. There's Browns Plains, Boronia Heights. Okay. And then there's that roundabout there with Middle Road and Coronation Road. Yahoo Chinese. Okay. Okay. So um, here we have Outback. Let's see. We have that's some sort of very old igneous rock. It looks like Archean or Proterozoic, like sort of old continental core rock. Um, okay, this is very dry even for Australia. Um, let's see. It has these trees. Okay, someplace like this, you may actually be able to walk in some direction and not encounter anything. Okay, there's a bollard. Um, we have, oh, here's a sign. Uh, okay, this is a trick. There is nothing visible on that sign. Um, let's see. So this is probably somewhere out in the middle of Australia, the so-called outback, maybe around Alice Springs, although I think the dirt is sort of a redder color there. Um, oh, welcome to Alice Springs. Um, yeah, alcohol restrictions apply in public areas. There's an interesting thing that I'm not sure if it's all of Northern Territory or Alice Springs, has unusual alcohol restrictions. That this is common for populations whose ancestors have not been exposed to alcoholic beverages for thousands of years, resulting in natural selection of susceptibility to alcohol. Um, like for instance, I know that in Alaska, there, let's see, do not take homegrown produce into the tea tree horticultural areas. Okay, so that's right. There's the tea tree, which is, like it's this toxic thing that's, it's used as like an insect repellent and things like that. Um, yeah. Okay, so it said welcome to Alice Springs. I forgot to see which it looks like were we southbound? Um, yeah, I think so. There's really one road into town up here. Um, me or yeah, and I don't, there's no city boundaries, of course, marked on the map. Okay, so yeah, so we were in the right place, right? And I get a gold for Australia. Um, okay, so in the like the map, and so let's play this again, just to give me more time to bloviate about Australia. And okay, so we have Clinton Hill as a place name. We have these things. That's some sort of mass transit thing, right? Um, Okay, we're near a major city center. Um, I assume that Australians might actually be able to recognize the skyline. I can't. Um, we are, what is that, Queen's Po or something like that? There's older buildings, also a indicator that we have to be near a city center. Um, Australia was settled relatively late. There were surprisingly few people, even, as late as the early 20th century in Australia. Um, yeah, this is, an example of old Australian architecture, especially these kind of posts and balcony and the especially if there's a veranda on the second floor, is very Australian. Um, I'll put down a guess. I think this is Melbourne from. Let's see, Lemon Baxter, Alexandra Parade 83. Um, I don't see an 83 in the middle of here. Is this oh no, wait. Adelaide doesn't even have those blue routes. So maybe this is Melbourne then. Um, let's see. The Cricket Warehouse. Okay. Cricket, a game even more incomprehensible to people not familiar with it than baseball. Um, okay, we've got the tram tracks, of course. We got those are kind of an east-west direction. Okay, so there's 83. Okay. Um, Alexandra Parade. So that's a useful thing to remember is that the the blue signs like this on roads are they're in Victoria and not in southern Australia. It looks like. Okay. Again, here palms indicate probably most likely Queensland and Northern Territory, although can be found anywhere in Australia. I think. Um, we have bad coverage. Is this a Generation 1 camera? Yeah, see what I said about the architecture that this is a very Australian building with the posts here and this second story porch. A veranda, I think, is the term that they use for it. Um, yeah, this is bad coverage. Okay. Um, So it looks like going north. Okay, it looks like me. I'm going to guess we're probably on an island off the Queensland coast from this. Um, let's see where. Yeah, where is one of those? Um, look, that one doesn't look particularly populated. Um, yeah, we could be close to Brisbane. Yeah, I like that. For now. Um, Yeah, that is a very Australian building, and it's older, right? Like this is looks probably early 20th century. Um, we have rainforest real estate. Okay, the term rainforest I think tends to be used more for far north Queensland, which is the area around Cairns and Townsville. Um, but like where is there an island that could it be this island? Yeah, there's one near Townsville, so yeah. Also, you can see that there's East Coast. Wait, top end camping and outdoors. The top end is Northern Territory, which okay, I guess the top end is not necessarily Northern Territory. It's actually even farther north than Cairns in Cooktown. Cooktown is kind of the northernmost, uh, reasonably sized town on the East Coast. Everything north of this is just a little village. Um, you'll notice there's 40 here. There's this 81 goes farther north, and that goes to let's see, that goes to Weipa over here, which is kind of the main town in this thing, the Cape York Peninsula, and then there's still some Australian territory. There's the Torres Strait Islands up here. There's Thursday Island, and then I can't remember which one it is, but at least one of these islands off the coast of Papua New Guinea is part of Australia. Um, and so those islands are called the Torres Strait Islands. We have Reynolds Drive. We have Palms. Um, yeah, consistent with Brisbane area, I think. Looks kind of dry for the Brisbane area though. Um, oh yeah, yeah. This is also there's hills in the Brisbane area. It's on the east coast where there are hills. Yeah, looking at this is probably yeah, this sort of landscape I would say is probably Victoria or South Australia. Um, it could even be the interior of New South Wales or Queensland. Like there's not much to go on. Um, I'm going to plunk it, here for now. Um, yeah. You see unusual conifers, in Australia, this sort of resembles a little bit, a Norfolk Island pine, but it isn't, but it has sort of similar branching. Um, maybe something else from the Araucaria genus. Um, I want to say this is a eucalyptus tree. Um, I'm not an expert on these things, but um, the only way we know is, we need to feed it to a koala, like see if it likes it. Um, yeah, so this looks like it could be, like a smaller city. Um, yeah, that's what I think it is. Could be, Bendigo, Shepparton, Mildura, someplace like that. Now, because Australia has so little population, in the outlying areas, there's a limited number of towns, even in this sort of size range. Um, okay, it was a small place. This Numurka. Okay. Um, yeah, not too far from Shepperton, which is the largest town in this sort of area. Albury, yeah, that's around here. There's Albury, there's Wagga Wagga. Okay. This is an area that has some rainfall. Uh, yeah, I think this is probably East Coast, like maybe northern New South Wales, like around Coffs Harbour or Port Macquarie. Um, yeah, there, where was it? Yeah, that we saw the Australian chevrons again, which are very distinctive. We have airport for that way. Um, I'd go that way except for the bad coverage. Um, by the way, this Generation 1 coverage, that's completely awful. That's mostly found in, I think, in Australia and the United States. Oh, there, 73 Coffs Harbour. So I was right about that. Grafton 8. Um, there's Grafton. Um, Pacific Highway. That's A1. A1 is kind of more of a road system than a single road. It makes a complete circuit of Australia and is in Tasmania. Um, it just sort of means the main road of whatever state you're in. Um, I assume that there might be some sort of, official government designation, of a road as an A1, which maybe gets federal funds or something. Clarence Correctional Center. Oh, yeah, there's the Grafton Correction Complex there, right? Okay, if we return to start, where were we? Um, let's see, we went south, I think. Yeah, yeah, we're in the right area. It looks like this is going to be hard to get a precise fix on. Um, yep, keep left and less overtaking. So again, left-hand drive country. Um, so we were over on this road, okay, which maybe that makes sense, right? We walked down to the end of it and saw the signs. Okay, so we're back to the dry. We have the bad coverage. Um, yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that we were on an Australian map and it was bad coverage, I think maybe this could be uh, an exceptionally dry part of New Zealand, but no, I mean it doesn't really get to this point. Yeah, there's what people call the broccoli trees. Um, don't know what they're called, and you can go quite a distance here. Let's see, the road is paved. Um, looks like the looks like this is a farming or ranching area. That's it's not deep out back. Um, again, I'm thinking interior New South Wales. Um, maybe around Orange or Parks. Yeah, so much of Australia looks like this. Okay, now we're in an area with better coverage, and so we are much happier. Um, let's see, Cusack something. Soil is, definitely heading toward a bright red color. Which I mean, red soil in itself is not very distinctive in Australia. There's a whole lot of that, but there are some areas that are particularly red. Um, the most red area is around Newman in Western Australia. The called the Pilbara region, but that's a complete moonscape. It it doesn't have trees. Not much vegetation around Newman. Um, but I'm thinking that this is probably interior New South Wales from what I remember about what Australia looks like. But yeah, we're deep in the countryside and not finding anything. And I got the wrong side of the continent, which it actually is quite difficult to tell the difference between different parts of Australia. Um, the I know that Western Australia, if you see another car, there's some blue on the license plates. But okay, um, my pattern for these country streams is that there's three of them. So this is the last game. Uh, okay, we've got a wall made of black rocks. Christian Science reading room. Ryrie Street. Okay, I think it's probably one of the metropolitan areas. There's some old buildings, so we may be near the center. Hydronic.com.au. Again, 8-digit phone number, no area. Chemist. Oh, there's a sign that tells us where things are. We have A10 Melbourne, Ballarat, Colac, and B140 Hamilton. Um, A10 and B140. Yeah, there aren't a lot of B's on here. I know I've seen Colac before. I think it's not that far from Melbourne, but we have B140 and A10. Okay. Another thing, this could be maybe this is a smaller city. We have Melbourne and Ballarat A10. Okay, Ballarat is one of the larger towns in Victoria State. Wait, there's Bendigo, there's Ballarat. Um, let's see, is Colac near it? No. Let's see, there's M8. I'm not seeing A10. City Center, Port Arlington. Um, Port Arlington. Colac. Hmm. There's Kolak. Okay. Um, we had A10 and B140 in the area. Oh, there's B140. Um, okay, so it was Geelong. Okay, so I was right about it being near a city center, and that I thought that yeah. So Geelong is I think it may be the second largest city in Victoria State. Um, it's sort of an outcropping of the Melbourne area. I think this is like 70 or 80 kilometers away out on. Oh, there's Port Arlington, which was also on the sign. Yeah, so the B140 then goes this way. Okay. Yeah, so again we have indeterminate interior Australia, bad coverage. Um, okay, so we walked onto pavement. So we're not. Yeah, it looks like this area again is deep countryside. Um, Now, before I thought interior New South Wales, it looked like this, and it turned out to be Western Australia. So the next thing is, should we react to that and guess Western Australia? Um, yeah, there is nothing out here. Yeah, this is some long distance 2-lane country road. It's paved, so but yeah. So I'm going to guess somewhere around Kalgoorlie. Let's say Norseman. Um, Although, I mean, Norseman is kind of too far out for this, like there's more agriculture here. There's some fields, like maybe it's closer to Perth, maybe here. Um, yeah, so in this area, the agricultural area is, this thing here, like just maybe from around Geraldton to Albany, and then out some distance into the interior, that even Kalgoorlie is pretty far out in a non-agricultural, outback area. Um, okay, and I seem to have ended up off that road. There's the Australian chevrons again. Yeah, so what? Yeah, I ran out of pavement. Okay, so it was Western Australia, yes. Um, but deep out in the heart of nowhere, right? Um, Professionals Lithgow. There is an area code on there. It's two. I think two is around Sydney, right? As I remember, it said in the thing that I was looking at that the boundaries of two don't coincide with New South Wales, but they're similar. Um, let's see, Lansdowne Hotel. Yeah, so this looks like a small town center. Um, we'll plunk it near Sydney. Yeah, there's hills here, like very much. Oh, Lithgow, that's right. Yeah, I think I may have even seen Lithgow. Uh, is it in the Sydney area or is it? No, I want to say Lithgow is out here on the other side of the coastal area, right? Or yeah, and I'm fairly sure that from the two in the phone number that we're likely to be in New South Wales. Yeah, again here, interesting. There's some older buildings. Um, Lithgow bearings. Okay, so we almost have to be in Lithgow. There's hills here which indicate that it's probably near the coast, right? That these forests here cover the. Okay, so where's Lithgow? There's Lithgow. Okay, Blue Mountains area, right? Um, so I'm gonna go right on Main Street here. Return to start. Okay, so it was Main Street in Lithgow. Yeah, it was not too far from the choice. So we had a little bit more time. We probably could have gotten that precisely. Um, so next to last round of the stream, um, that's a modern house with a. Wait, is that a balcony or not? Um, Cowrie Place. That sounds almost like some place that would be in New Zealand. We have palm trees. Okay, makes us think of Queensland already. Uh, um, Wait, is that plates with blue on them? Yeah, that could be a Western Australia plate. Um, yeah, definitely out here it looks a little bit more open. There's one of those. See, you see a lot of strange conifers here, and this one also has the sort of branching pattern that a Norfolk Island pine would have, but it's not a Norfolk Island pine. Um, that those I think may be some other Araucaria species. Um, Coles Express, um, about $1. I'm thinking that's per liter. Um, I think an Australian dollar is smaller than a US dollar, but not by a large amount. Similar in size to Canadian dollars. Um, Greenlaw Park. Okay, yeah. So, um, yeah. So I'm thinking, Western Australia, relatively close to Perth. Is that does that have blue on it? Maybe. or maybe not. Yeah, yeah. So the reason why I think, even though there are palms, I think this is not Queensland because the coastal areas of Queensland at least, get more rain than this. Like this is more of a dry Australian area. Okay, so yeah. So I guess that's a useful thing to remember if you see other cars is that the blue on the plates can indicate that you are in Western Australia. There are not a lot of clues for that otherwise. And again, it looked relatively dry. Like that suggested that it wasn't the East Coast. Um, but relatively dry areas can be, of course, Melbourne, Adelaide, that sort of area. Uh, okay, this immediately makes me think Gold Coast. This is like I mentioned, there's that outlier of Brisbane, um, called marked on there as Gold Coast. And it has impressive beaches like this. Um, Also in Brisbane, the center is not on the sea, and here that we do have big towers and things on the sea. Yeah. Um. Okay. So where do I think this is? Let's see. So the orientation of the coast, it's kind of straight north south, right? Um. So it's not this part. Has to be up here someplace. Sky Point observation deck has to be in with some large buildings, right? Um, Looks like we're north of that uh, by maybe uh, several hundred meters. Um, okay, so um, looks like we're up here, and yeah, we're unlikely. It doesn't move very fast. I don't think we're gonna walk off the beach and get more clues. So I guess we're done then. Okay, 820 meters off, so not a bad score. Okay. Um, yeah, so that one, you know, yeah, there was it was worst errors were 63 and 104 kilometers. So that last one was a good performance. And so now we're done, and so next up in alphabetical order of the domain name is AX, the Auckland Islands.